What's up, everyone? It's Alex here, and I just thought I'd do a quick point and shoot because I am super busy at the moment, and I, don't have time to this second create a edited video. But I want to keep the content consistent, and I know a lot of you are here from, NoFap videos, but I realised I haven't really given you a foolproof recipe for success, and I was thinking, I can just give you one right now because I know what it is and it's actually quite simple and it's actually quite easy once you get your head around it. And when it clicked for me was with something seemingly unrelated to NoFap, but it is related, and you'll see why. Smoking. I used to be a habitual tobacco smoker. I've been hooked on nicotine since my late teens. I smoked tobacco. I was years on the electronic cigarette. When I got on the electronic cigarette, I thought, there's no way I'll ever smoke tobacco again. This satisfies me now. Then I ended up going back to tobacco, and then I would mix tobacco with electronic cigarettes. Then I would have nicotine replacement therapy on at the same time. Suck in just packet after packet of lozenges, spending a fortune on lozenges and gums and inhalers, flicking between cigarettes and e-cigs and NRT, giving up for months at a time and then going back. I was all over the place, and I was fully ready to believe that I would either be a smoker my entire life or a nicotine addict my entire life, or I would manage to get to a place where I wasn't ingesting nicotine, but life wasn't going to be quite as good. I'd always have this craving in the back of my mind, like the idea of once a smoker, always a smoker. Festivals will never be quite the same if I can't have a beer and a cigarette. Perhaps I'll give up smoking and I'll just go to festivals and I just have a packet of cigarette at a festival. And then I won't smoke again after that. Perhaps life will never be quite as good because I won't be able to have that after dinner cigarette. That just lovely feeling of having a drink and a cigarette after the food's gone down. I'll never experience that again. I'll miss out in some way. I'll never be able to see social events the same way. If I go out clubbing, I'll be secretly thinking, I really want to be out in the smoking area. See, I was stuck in this mindset that if I give up nicotine, if I never ever have any nicotine ever again in my entire life, I will by de facto miss out. And that is the trap that probably all smokers are in. Is that somewhere inside of them, they believe that this nicotine, this tobacco is highly addictive. It has highly powerful withdrawal symptoms, and you'll go through weeks, months, if not years of misery, and that you'll always, for the rest of your life, be craving one. And then I read a book. Someone recommended me a book. Some of you might have heard of it. It's called The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Alan Carr. And I read this book, and I was studying coaching and personal development at the time. And it made a lot of personal development and coaching concepts so obvious and solidify so intensely. It's just clear as day. Remember thinking back to, studying Tony Robbins and hearing him say, we're motivated by pleasure and pain. We want to escape pain. We want to move towards the pleasure. And this book, The Easy Way to Stop Smoking, just tells you without being around the bush that you've been brainwashed into thinking that you'll miss out if you stop smoking, that life will not be as good, that social occasions will never be as good, that you'll always be thinking about it, that you'll always be an ex-smoker that really just wants a cigarette. the reality is, it's not that addictive. It's not got the super, super dark withdrawal symptoms that we all think it has. It's not going to be putting you in a situation where life isn't as good. Actually, life will be, as the book describes, infinitely better. Social events will be better. Festivals will be better. The morning after going down a pub will be better. Your whole life will be hugely better. And when that really lands, and when you really get it, so you've got these two paths in front of you. At the moment, if you're hooked on PMO, if you can't go a day or two or a week on NOFAP, you've most likely got something in your mind that says, life will not be as good if I don't have porn and masturbation continuously in my life. I'll miss out. Maybe you're thinking you won't be able to relax. Maybe you're thinking you won't be able to sleep properly. Maybe you're thinking you'll never get the same kind of ecstasy from somewhere else. Maybe you're thinking you'll never be able to satisfy that fetish. Maybe you're thinking you won't be able to get the partners and the relationships that you want in order to have the sexual relationship that you really want, which is going to blow all of this PMO out of the water. You're thinking that's going to be hard to get to. And that maybe there's something relaxing about PMO. Maybe there's something in it to be, maybe doing PMO regularly is a better life, and the other life is just really hard work. You're constantly thinking about PMO. You're constantly sexually frustrated, perhaps. It's hard. You're tracking the days. You're thinking, when is this going to be over? When am I going to get to 90 days? When am I going to finally be able to release? I'm just absolutely full of this energy that I can't do anything about and can't get rid of. There could be all of these thoughts going around. So you're creating a situation in your mind where you're associating more pain and less pleasure with a life with either no PMO or drastically less. I'm not one of these never fap again kind of guys, but either no PMO if that's what you choose, or drastically less, right? You're associating more pain and less pleasure with that life. And you're still seeing the regular PMO lifestyle as being better, as being more comfortable, as causing you less pain. And what you need to do is shift your mind into knowing with conviction that a life with either no or drastically less PMO, healthy moderation or none at all, is the better life. Have conviction that that's the better life. Think about the good things that you will have or gain from that lifestyle. Usually the increased energy, the increased desire to seek out connections, being able to drive that energy into your higher purpose and your manifestations, not wasting your time on PMO. There's reasons as to why you got into this. Believe and know with conviction that the lifestyle that you're trying to get to is just genuinely better and nicer and easier and more comfortable, because it is. because that's the actual reality. Don't get caught into this trap, into this brainwashing that if you don't have PMO regularly in your life, you're going to be missing out. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be frustrated. All of this conditioning that comes from society. You know, if just someone who's never heard of NOFAP or personal development goes on NOFAP, they're likely to phone you up on day 3 and say, what the hell are you doing to me? I'm frustrated and going crazy right now. You know, they might not even get it. And that's influencing our subconscious beliefs about what lifestyle we should lead, about what's the easiest or the most comfortable lifestyle to lead. And it's influencing us in the direction to think that a life of PMO is easier or more comfortable. But it's not. That's not the actual reality. The reality is that overindulgence in this stuff makes you lose your energy, makes you lose that psychological drive. We don't have all the science yet, but it might negatively impact your health in some way if it's not kept in check, or it's not, if it becomes unhealthy. I would never, ever try to demonize any sex or masturbation. It can all be incredibly healthy and wholesome, obviously, with consciousness, but it's getting to that place by shifting the way you think about it in your mind, getting to that place where you fully have the conviction that the conscious relationship to your own sexuality is the better and easier and more comfortable and more pleasurable path. Not acting unconsciously on compulsion all the time to satiate yourself. Bringing consciousness to your urges. Bringing consciousness to your compulsion. If you want to live a lifestyle with zero PMO, if that's what you want, you have to truly believe that that is the better lifestyle. And it will become so easy for most people to veer towards that lifestyle with great acceleration. Once it clicked for the nicotine in my brain, once I realized, yes, I need to truly know in my heart that an addiction to nicotine is never, ever, ever, ever going to make my life better. And that being nicotine free will make my life infinitely better. As soon as I realized that I need to have conviction around that and know that, because that is the reality, and I know that to be the reality even more now I've, gone a long time without any nicotine, I can see that reality. It's so obviously simple. I'm not thinking about, oh God, that person's smoking over there, I want a cigarette. I'm thinking, God damn, I'm so glad to be away from that slow suicide. I'm so glad not to be a slave to this thing anymore. I'm so glad not to be constantly negatively impacting my health in a serious way. I'm glad that I'm saving the money. I'm glad that I don't have to think about it anymore. Do you see? I'm not thinking, oh God, I really want to be out in the smoking area. I really want a cigarette with this pint. I really want a cigarette after this meal, because it's never better. So take a lesson from that. Take your mind and see where your conviction and where your beliefs really lie. Be honest with yourself. And if you want to live a certain lifestyle with a certain relationship to your own sexuality, then have the belief and the conviction that it is actually what you want to do, the reasons why you want to do it. And it will become so much easier. You won't be fighting all the time. I hope this helps. I know that if you're confused, watch the video again. I've given it to you here. This will work for most situations. Maybe some people have, really deep addiction or really deep trauma, which there might be, supplementary methods to apply to, but most of it is this, in my opinion. And have an awesome day. Peace.